Hey button pushers, my name is Nick and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. A question has been asked, a very good question. KrimzonStriker asked if it was possible for Octavia to not be transformed because the sweet person that KrimzonStriker is were worried that it was lonely for Sir Brante. And you know what, they're right. I didn't think it was going to be possible, but then they came back and said, well hang on, why not just try and dissolve the Lotari straight away? Which is possible in the priest playthrough. I don't know if it's possible here. I can abolish it, but I don't know if it's going to work. So we're going to find out. So I've jumped back to the start of peacetime and we've gone through up to passion. So I'm going to insist on being treated as her equal because I think that's going to probably net me the best chance at doing this. But we'll see. So I'm going to do this, then we're going to jump ahead to Lotari. Not going to pay attention to anything in between and we'll see what happens. I hope this works because if she can stay as Octavia and we can stay together, then great. Someone I love doesn't die. A rendezvous with Octavia. So this is where we go and meet up with her and she's talking about her desire to escape the Arcanian stranglehold that it has on her. So I'm going to take this opportunity to inquire about the arcane knowledge, which is going to get me closer to the Lotari Society, which hopefully means I can shut it down. I don't know if this is going to work, but it seems like the most logical thing. It's either that or share my revelation. I'm going to inquire about the arcane knowledge, and hopefully this is okay. Crap. So I need to convince Octavia to disband the circle. Son of a bitch. So I need higher manipulation for that. Okay. The things I do for this goddamn game. I still don't have enough manipulation. Ah! Success! I had to go through youth and do a couple of things differently, but we're here now. So, manipulation is a 10. I can convince Octavia to disband the circle. So, you insist that Octavia must disband the society for her own good. Will she listen? I don't know. I kinda hope so after all this. Gently, you take the Archduke's daughter by the hand and beg her to hear you out. With great patience and insistence, you tell Octavia that she has underestimated the danger that looms over her guests and herself. Ever since the Empire was founded, reenactments of any rituals of extinct races has been considered a sign of revolt against the Crown. And, worse yet, the Circle seeks to reach the Lotari, to flee the Empire, and to circumvent the world and divine law. If the powers that be ever learn about this, they will have no mercy. Not even Octavia's noble birth will save the Circle from what will come next. The Circle of Lotari has already been reported, and it's about to be dispersed. And you cannot stop it. Either you'll disperse it yourself, or the secret chancellery will take it upon themselves. Octavia will come to no harm no matter what, but many other members of her society will be taken away, regardless of their noble rank or birth. Octavia is focused on you as you speak. Her thoughts are mystery behind her dark green eyes. When you finish, she remains silent for a while, perfectly composed as befits a lady of her rank, the trembling of her thin lips the only hint of any inner torment. Niklaus, I have no choice but to admit that you're right. Why now? All times. So be it, my gentle judge. You leave me no other choice. She turns gracefully to face the people in the hall and raises her hands to call for their attention. Circle of Lotari, there will be no mystery tonight. Our meeting will have to end before its time, and there will never be another. I am your leader, and I demand that you forget forever everything that has happened within these walls. That is my word and my will. Leave this place, never to return. The guests exchange confused glances. They begin taking off their Lotari masks and robes. You now recognise many of them as the offspring of respectable noble families residing in Anazot. Octavia, meanwhile, turns to you. This is enough, I hope. Congratulations, you've just ended a dangerous plot against the Empire itself. As for me, I will continue on my own. I no longer need the others as much as I did at first. Octavia cuts her speech short. She looks at you intently. But this is only my concern and my responsibility. Farewell, Niklaus. It will be a long while before we meet again. I have much to do on my own. You report to Elborn the morning after that his concerns were well founded. A group of young nobles had founded a secret society that sought to reenact the rituals of long extinct races, but you convinced them to end their dangerous practices. Wisely done, Brante. Far better than taking on every powerful noble family at once. We'd never have been able to punish them all. But you've managed to disperse their so-called circle at the very least. The common folk will now see that we aren't going to let younger nobles break the law. The age of equality under the law still remains distant, but thanks to you, justice has taken one step forward in Anazots. You can't help but think of Octavia and those who followed her. They dared to reject their nature, lots, and birth in an attempt to become something else entirely. But in the Empire, there is no something else. As for Octavia herself, she has disappeared from your life for the foreseeable future. She seems to have vanished from the social circles of Anazots since that night. The Archnean has never been one to share her plans with you. Your encounters with her have ended as abruptly as they've begun. So we'll see how this plays out. Because later on in this chapter I get a letter from the Archduke asking me to find her, and that's when she transforms. So let's see if that still happens, or whether we have managed to avoid that. I have a horrible feeling this is just going to end up being exactly the same, and she's going to have continued anyway and transformed. Which means all of this has been for nothing, but, you know, there's only one way to find out. No. We're at transformation, and no. It's exactly the same. We've gone to find her, she's already killed herself and been reborn as ex-Octavia. There's one more thing I can try, so I'll see you in a moment. So this time, we are going to just outright ban the Circle of Latari, see if that makes any difference. I'm assuming the answer to that is going to be a hard no, but we're going to give it a try. Octavia turns around and heads for the centre of the room, taking your silence for a sign of consent, but you rush ahead and stand in her way, your arms folded across your chest. You serve the prefecture, and you do not condone any breach of the law. Ever since the Empire was founded, reenactment of any rituals of extinct races have been considered a sign of revolt against the Crown. And worse yet, the Circle seeks to reach the Latari, to flee the Empire, and to circumvent both worldly and divine law. The prefecture's gendarmes will arrive very soon and put an end to the meeting of the Circle. Noble or not, highborn or otherwise, the people hiding behind those gilded masks will have to answer to the law. Octavia is focused on you, the smile fading from her lips. Perfectly suppressed fury now burns in her dark green eyes. She turns to face the people in the room and raises her hand to call for their attention. Circle of Latari, our meeting will have to end before its time. There will be no mystery tonight. An overzealous judge seeks to disperse us. We should see what they can do. You all know how to behave when dealing with the authorities. The guests exchange glances and nod knowingly. They begin to take off their Latari masks and robes. You now recognise many of them as the offspring of respectable noble families residing in Anazots. Octavia, meanwhile, turns to you. Surely you realise that none of them will face punishment, Judge. All you have done is shattered my circle and killed my creation. You saw so much, but you understood nothing. What a shame. But I should have expected nothing less from a human. Your duty is to serve. Now go away and serve whoever you like. I never want to see you again. Very soon, an entire platoon of well-armed gendarmes surround the estate, but their belligerent attitude disappears as soon as they see the noble faces of the highborn progeny. They politely suggest that the noble ladies and gentlemen return to their homes and await further communication from the prefecture. You could expect nothing more. The high society of Anazots is abuzz the morning after. News of the dispersed secret society led by the Archduke's daughter spreads like wildfire. The litigation at the prefecture, however, quickly comes to a standstill thanks to the influence of many noble families and Archduke Melanidas himself. It's just as Octavia foresaw. Oh, I hate to say it, Brante, but I cannot take on every powerful noble family in the city at once. I had to deliver the verdict myself and say the society had performed no forbidden rituals. None of them will be punished. But you've managed to disperse their so-called circle at the very least. The common folk will now see that we aren't going to let younger nobles break the law. The age of equality under the law still remains distant, but thanks to you, justice has taken one step forward in Anazot. Yeah, I don't see this ending any differently, to be honest, but we'll see. Nope, everything is exactly the same. So, scientific research has concluded. I have crunched the numbers. It's not possible. I'm very sorry. I wanted it to be possible as well. I wanted me and Octavia to live happily ever after, but it was not to be. She will forever become a Latarian. I cannot go with her. The best I can hope for is that in the revolution I help her and she spreads her wisdom for future generations to come. That's the best we're going to get out of this, which is very upsetting. This has not been successful, and I apologise for that, but you know what? It was worth a try. In the name of science, we've conducted good research, and you know what? So, the results aren't always what you expect, and that's okay. This, I know I said it in the last video, this is definitely the last noble one I'm going to do. Next one will be priesthood. I promise. Until then, if you want to check this out for yourself, then the link to the game page is in the description. If there's anything in particular you want to see, then let me know. And if it's not something I'm already planning, I will add it to my list. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then why don't you go ahead and hit the like button, the inevitable transformation that is the subscribe button. Make sure you that bad boy. And until next time, love you, bye.